The US government is in the process of deporting me, and I found this out back in June, and this has become my number one priority over the last few months. I had a scheduled court hearing on the 14th in Boston, and I was running into some challenges with regards to finding legal representation because as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the immigration attorneys in my area, they weren't taking on new clients at this time.
Because of the COVID virus, we are not in a position to take on new cases with upcoming hearings right now. Those are the attorney's words, not even my words. They're the attorney's words.
However, with help from a friend, I found a deportation attorney based in Boston who agreed to take my case despite currently not taking on new clients. And back in June, I had it explained to me this way, that I have one of two options. Behind door number one was that I continue to stay here in America, I work and I save as much money as I can. And by the time the 14th arrived, by the time my court hearing comes, I just take whatever money that I worked and saved for and then leave the country to start over somewhere new, be it back in South Africa or wherever. That's behind door number one. On the contrary, door number two is that I work and save the money needed to pay both the US government and the attorney so that when the time comes, I can face the music and fight for my ability to stay here in the hopes of obtaining a pathway to US citizenship. When I first received my notice of removal proceedings, hereon referred to as like my deportation letter. When I first received my deportation letter, I don't feel less of a person admitting to you that I honestly had my doubts. I mean, I spent the better half of a decade pursuing citizenship and more money than I care to admit, and I'm currently facing the result of actively being deported. If I were to stay and fight this, I would have to start from zero, or start from the very beginning rather, and have to file everything all over again. Suffice to say, in the beginning, I had my doubts. This will be the second time that I'm filing for citizenship, and I'm often criticized by people close to me, including people on this channel and on my Instagram, that often question why I'm doing all of this and whether or not this is worth it, that say that the American dream is dead, and for me to chase it, for me to pursue that, is an exercise in futility. And in my lowest moments, I do find myself repeating what others have said to me, and it's stuff like, sometimes it hurts more to hold on than it does to let go, which is true. Another thing that's commonly said is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result is the definition of insanity, which is also true. However, a truth that I choose to live by is, if at first you don't succeed, try again. I am certain that by the end of the next decade, that I will have my red letter day and proudly call myself a citizen of this great country. Call me young, call me crazy, call me naive, call it an exercise in futility, but I do believe in the American dream. Whether it takes 5 or 10 more years, I will not stop. This is my home. I have people here whom I love, people whom I consider family, and their absence will hurt me more than anything that the US government could possibly throw my way. And believe me, they can throw a lot.
Okay, it's your responsibility to know that.
I understand. I'm sorry.
Okay?
I understand. I'm sorry.
Let me talk to my supervisor. I don't know if we're gonna keep you here.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, I'll be back.
What? Now, my life goal is to change my family tree. And I truly believe with all of my heart that it's in this country that I'm going to plant my roots for said tree. And I oftentimes reflect on the fact that my children And my children's children, if they choose to have any, will benefit from the actions that I take here today. So I chose door number 2, to stay and face the music, to do whatever I had to that was ethical, legal, and moral in order to earn money to fight this, in order to obtain a pathway to citizenship. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that at the beginning of the pandemic, I, like many others, lost their job. I work as a bartender, and the bars in my area are still closed, and I decided to become a day laborer in construction. I did odd jobs from garden work to driveway installation, from skirting people's houses to collecting free bicycles and fixing them for resale. It's been a wild few months, but eventually I saved up enough money to pay the deposit for the attorney as well as the government filing fee. And as aforementioned, my court hearing was scheduled on the 14th. Oh, sun's up. Going to Boston, immigration court. I have coffee and I have a pre-workout shake because I spent like, I don't know, I only got like 2, maybe at best 3 hours of sleep. So I have a pre-workout shake, and then a cold brew coffee, and then a half gallon of water. Have to have all my immigration documents. I dotted every I and crossed every T. I am as ready as one can be. Boston, here I come. However, when I got to Boston, call it God's grace, destiny, life, karma, the universe, or simply a consequence of the current COVID-19 pandemic, whatever. But when I got to Boston, I found out that my court case has been rescheduled for August, and one of my biggest fears subsequently disappeared. And that was that I wouldn't get to spend Christmas with the people whom I love. But now I do. And I'm extremely grateful for that. And since my hearing has been rescheduled, I have time to raise the remaining $5,000 for my immigration attorney, which is such a relief. And what I'm going to do for work during the winter, because the bars are still closed, that's next year's problem. For right now, I wanted to make this quick update video to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This year, 2020, has been a trying year for almost everyone I know, but make a declaration that no cost is too high for your dreams, despite what anybody says, that your will to succeed and your family's future is not for sale. In short, always, and I mean always, choose door number 2.